boys and girls, welcome back. I hope you scientists are ready to learn because I am really excited to teach you, okay? Last week in science, we talked about how when we are on Earth and the Earth rotates, it will create daylight and it'll create nighttime for us, okay? So here we are on Earth. When we are facing the sun, we have daylight. We're getting the sun's rays. When we rotate, remember rotate, spin, when we rotate away from the sun, it is darker. We're not facing the sun, so it's nighttime, okay? Here's a little illustration from a fun book called I Am Earth. And it shows you when we are facing the sun, daylight, we have the sun shining on us. When we're not facing the sun, nighttime, okay? So as the Earth rotates, spins, one full spin is creating 24 hours, daylight, nighttime, all right? So this week, boys and girls, we're going to talk about seasons, okay? Now I want you to think in your head, what are the 4 seasons that we have? I hope you said winter, spring, summer, fall. Now, boys and girls, they go in a cycle, so every year they will follow each other. It's not going to go in different orders. So I want you to think, what happens in winter? What happens in spring? What happens in summer? What happens in fall? We can make the predictions of this pattern. So in a minute, we're going to learn our 3 vocabulary words for the week, and I want you to act them out with me if you can. So I want you to grab Play-Doh and put it into a little ball. Grab some popsicle sticks, or I just use a kebab stick, maybe you have a straw, and then grab yellow paper or write the word sun on a piece of paper and tape it to any kind of water bottle you have around the house. So grab those things so we can act out our words to learn more about seasons. Okay, let's learn these 3 vocabulary words so we can better understand how we have seasons, all right? It's not just because all of a sudden it turns November, oh, we're gonna have fall, and oh, we're gonna have winter soon. It all depends upon how we rotate and face and not face the sun. All right, let's learn. So the first word is axis. What's the word? Axis. Say it to the couch. Axis. Say it to the floor. Axis. Say it to me. Axis. Good. Now, axis is this imaginary line or pole that goes through the north part of Earth all the way down to the south part of the Earth. Now, boys and girls, there is not an actual pole or lines that go through the Earth. They're just imaginary. Pretend to better help us understand by having a visual. Now, on this axis, it is going to help the Earth spin or rotate, okay? So the word is axis. What's the word? Axis. Good. So what I want you to do is take your Play-Doh ball, and either you have toothpicks for the North Pole, South Pole, or a big stick, and we are going to make an axis. Here you go. And then watch, here's your Earth spinning, rotating, right? So good. You have your axis, pretend, right? It's pretend, but it better helps us understand how the Earth will rotate. Okay, next word, orbit. What's the word? Orbit. Good. Say it to the fridge. Orbit. Say it to a light. Orbit. Say it to me. Orbit. Good. The word is orbit. Now, orbit means that, for instance, we're talking about the Earth will move kind of like in a circular motion, okay, around something. So the Earth is still rotating, but as it's rotating, it's also moving in like a circle. What? I know. Look at the visual to help you. There's not 4 Earths, but it's just showing you how the Earth, as it's rotating, it also can orbit all the way around the sun. Oh my goodness. The Earth does so many things, and we don't even know it, right? We're just here on Earth. But the whole time, we are orbiting, we are rotating, we have daytime, we have nighttime, we have fall, we have winter. Oh my goodness, so much is going on. So, here's the visual. Take your sun in your bottle, take your axis in your Earth, okay? And let's orbit. So as the axis is rotating, spinning, we are going to orbit around the sun. And boys and girls, this is what helps us get our seasons, our fall, winter, spring, and summer. So when we make one complete rotation, we've had all 4 of our seasons. Whoa! I know, a lot goes on because science is everywhere, boys and girls. So that was orbit. On its axis, pretend imaginary line, it is orbiting. Good. Okay, and our last word is tilt. What's the word? Tilt. Say it to a chair. Tilt. Say it to a clock. Tilt. Say it to the screen. Tilt. Say it one more time. Tilt. Good. Tilt means to lean to one side. So everybody tilt. We're tilting. Lean to the other side. Tilt. Good. So it shows Saturn, but we are going to take our Earth on its axis, and really it's not straight. It doesn't have, the Earth is not having great posture. It tilts as it orbits. Tilts, tilts, tilts. And then it can tilt towards the sun as it orbits, or it can tilt away from the sun as it orbits. It just depends upon where you are on Earth. Great! So those are our 3 vocabulary words for this week. Axis, the imaginary line. Orbit, I am rotating in a curved path around something. And tilt, I lean to one side. Awesome! Okay, now let's talk about seasons. Here we go. Now, boys and girls, I have my son. Ooh, I'm ready for, I'm not going to tell you which season, but I'm ready to go. And I have my axis and my Earth. I put a little push pin to show where we are in Mount Vernon, Washington. You can do that too if you want. So, remember, we on Earth, we're not straight up and down showing great posture. We're tilted. So everybody tilt with me. Tilt. And we're going to talk about how what happens when we tilt away from the sun. See how we're facing away from the sun? Okay. So, I want you to think what seasons, there's 2 of them, that we're going to be talking about when we are tilted away from the sun. All right, I want you to make a good prediction. So here we go. So if I am tilted away from the sun, I'm not getting the direct sun's light or energy. So that means daytime is a lot shorter, okay, as we orbit and we're away from the sun. Things on Earth aren't really growing as much, okay? The animals go in hibernation because there's not enough food to eat, right? The temperatures are a lot colder as we are orbiting away and we're tilted away from the sun. So what seasons do we have when we are tilted away from the sun? We're not getting the sun's energy, things are not growing, daytime is a lot shorter, the temperatures are a lot colder. Do you know which seasons those are? I sure hope you said fall and winter because that's correct. So when we have fall and winter, we in Mount Vernon, Washington, in the United States of America, we are tilted away from the sun, okay? Okay, now let's talk about the other 2 seasons. I have my sunglasses, I have my sunscreen. I'm ready to play outside most of the day, okay? All right, so here we are again, Mount Vernon, Washington, United States of America. And like we talked about with fall and winter, we were tilted away from the sun. This time, we are ready to orbit facing tilted towards the sun, okay? So I'm going to tilt towards the sun this time. So as we orbit and we are tilted towards the sun, I want you to think about which 2 seasons we're going to talk about this time, okay? So as we orbit, the temperatures are rising. More things are growing on Earth, okay? There's more life. Animals are back. They're done hibernating, okay? And most importantly, we have a lot more daylight. We have a lot more going on, okay? So as we orbit and we are tilted towards the sun, which 2 seasons do we have? I sure hope you said spring and summer because that's correct. So it's springtime right now in May, okay? And again, the months, it just happens to be when we have those seasons. It's not because, oh, I flipped the calendar, it's April, it has to turn into spring. It's all about how the Earth orbits and tilts towards or away from the sun. So when we are tilted towards the sun and we orbit around, boop, 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 okay, then that means we have spring and summer. When we are tilted away from the sun, boop, I'm not facing the sun anymore, and we orbit around, that is where we have fall and winter. So it's all about where we are on Earth and which way we are tilted. Away from the sun, fall and winter. Towards the sun, spring and summer. Okay? Now that we know how the sun affects all of our 4 seasons, let's revisit our target and talk about our assignment for this week. So we said, I will be able to observe and describe patterns of the seasons with the focus being on the sun. So we know that the sun affects our seasons. When we're tilted towards it, we have certain seasons. When we're tilted away from it, we have other seasons, okay? So you are going to observe and describe them for me. So right now it's spring. So you're going to observe spring. Illustrate spring and answer the fill in the blanks by writing. In spring, the earth is tilted blank, the sun so blank. Is the earth tilted away from the sun in spring or towards the sun? And then you need to give me your evidence. How do you know it's tilted towards the sun? Think of temperature, think of length of the daytime, think of what's going on with plants, or how do you know it's tilted away from the sun? Okay, give me your evidence. Then you're also going to predict and think about fall, okay? Give me your 5Q illustration and also write, in fall, the earth is tilted blank from the sun, so blank. You're gonna fill in the blank. Is it tilted away from the sun or is it tilted towards the sun? What is your evidence? Again, talk about temperatures, length of daylight, what's going on with the plants around you, okay, in fall. So give me 5Q illustrations, 5Q handwriting, and take a photo or a video to post on Seesaw. I can't wait to see your 5Q illustrations for spring and fall and your amazing handwriting, okay? Remember, finger spaces, correct letter formation. Remember, young scientists, you have all day to do these activities, so please take your time, make yourself proud of your work, okay? Families, if you have a moment this week, quiz your young scientists. What's an axis? What does it mean when something orbits or tilts? Why is the sun so important? So get your young scientists thinking. Boys and girls, please be curious kids. Ask lots of questions, because if you don't ask any questions, you'll never know the answers. Have a good week. Take your time doing your work. Make sure it is 5Q work. Bye, friends.